Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? It's your girl here, MJ's Nia, or you can call me Nia for short. But hey, welcome to my channel. So you already know what we're gonna talk about. You don't see the title, probably seen the thumbnail. I was originally gonna talk about black people hair, but I noticed that every time I type it in, it directly goes back to black women. Um, I'm gonna try to see if I can talk about a little bit about black men, but it seemed like if I do that, it's gonna be a two-part with black men hair and black women, because every time I kept finding something, it was it was about black women hair. So no disrespect to the black men, because I do know that you guys too as well go through these issues, but I think it's the black women that's going through it more. But I wanted to talk directly about the black people hair, but it didn't work like that when I was looking up stuff and researching. So about black women hair or black people hair in general, this has been talking about for years. It's been the talk for years. Ever since was it with Hair Show? I forgot the movie that Chris Rock had did, and then I know there was a segment on Oprah Winfrey show or own show that talked about perms years ago.
Come on. No, that's rich. No. That's rich. I was, the houses don't impress me, but that's rich. Does it? That's all it does. No, feel it. No, go ahead. Come on. Come on. Come on. Wow. Yeah, come on. You can pull it, feel it, see? Get out of here. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. See? Wow. Oh, I've never done that to a black woman. Oh, that lucky Stedman. Bastard Stedman. Okay, so.
That we already seen. Now, there is actually newer videos that came out and people are discussing it. So, I first want to play, I'm first going to play a conspiracy theory about black women hair. And I'm also going to play another video of a young lady who used to be famous in showbiz, and she has a mental problem, and she was talking about black people hair. So let's show you both of these real quick like.
Everybody thinks I cut my hair. I just added water. I add water. It is nothing has changed. Everybody thinks I cut my hair. I just added water. I add
But it does not matter because it comes straight from God's throne, from the courts of heaven, from God's very own words in his book, to cast down all these lies and people who exalt themselves against the word of God. So there's this topic that nobody really likes to talk about, but it's very well known. The fact that most black women are bald, and they don't understand why. They blame it on like, oh, we use too much chemicals for our hair, it's the glue and too much braiding. But that's not it, because when I was in Hollywood, I did all kinds of stuff to my hair all the time. I bleached it, and it's just not like that. It's only black women who grow bald, and let me tell you why. Because let me tell you this verse here. But if a woman has long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given to her as a covering. 1 Corinthians 11:15. So, I have such long hair, and it grows so fast all the time that I'm constantly having to cut it. As y'all see, it's constantly growing. And it says it is a glory to her, not to her shame. And let me read this to y'all, this little article I found. It says, a study 3 years ago of almost 6,000 women of African descent by Boston University Stone Etymology Center found that almost 48% of respondents had suffered hair loss on the crown or on the top of the head, mostly caused by traction alopecia. That's not what it's caused by, but let me keep going. Given the topic tends to be shrouded in silence, the true figure may be higher. All of them. It says, if we all had to take off our wigs at work, 8 out of 10 women would have hair issues. It's just something we don't and won't talk about. We are very ashamed of it, says Bandal, this black woman. So she says, we are very ashamed of it. So see, God's people don't walk around feeling shameful. God's people are walking around filled with glory and long hair. See? But if a woman has long hair, it's a glory to her. But yet this black woman says, all the black women feel, shameful because they're bald. And I, as a woman, can understand, because that's part of your beauty. It's part of, just natural women, having long hair. It's feminine. But without hair, you're just bald, nappy-headed, crusty head, walking around with your shame. Your shame will follow you everywhere you go, no matter how much money you try to buy, to buy wigs. But before I go further, let me read to you this verse that God himself did that to you. God Almighty, my husband, did that to you. Let me read to you what the Lord God says. Because remember, there's a lot of these, you will know a man by his fruits. There's all these like black women claiming to be the bride of Christ, and many church people out there claiming Jesus was black. But to their shame follows them everywhere. You'll know a man by his fruits. Look at Africa, and now all the African women are bald-headed. And this is what God says about that. The Lord says, the women of Zion are haughty, walking around with outstretched necks. You know how we always like this with the attitude, like haughtiness, okay? The women of Zion are haughty, walking along with outstretched necks, flirting with their eyes, strutting along with swaying hips, all that twerking, with ornaments jingling on their ankles. Therefore, the Lord will bring sores on the heads of the women of Zion. The Lord will make their scalps bald. In that day, the Lord will snatch away their finery, the bangles and headbands and crescent necklaces, the earrings and bracelets and veils, the headdresses and anklets and sashes, and perfume bottles and charms, the signet rings and nose rings, the fine robes and the capes and cloaks, the purses and mirrors and the linen garments and tiaras and shawls. Instead of fragrance, there will be a stench. Instead of a sash, a rope. Instead of well-dressed hair, baldness. Instead of fine clothing, sackcloth. Instead of beauty, branding. Your men will fall by the sword, your warriors in battle. This is why all the black men kill themselves a lot. Because it's God's judgment. Your men will fall by the sword, your warriors in battle. The gates of Zion will lament and mourn. Destitute, she will sit on the ground. Ooh, this is Isaiah. I'll leave it in the description box. So you see, that's about all the black women and those who follow their trends. Even all the Hollywood women, every single one of them have to wear hair weaves, hair extensions, you know, because this is all the black women. So it's a shame that they go around still claiming to be, you know, God's bride and this and that, but yet they're bald. God beautifies his people. He beautifies us with his salvation, his armor of righteousness, his glory, even the simple things as long hair. You know, he beautifies his bride. Surely he beautifies his own people. But to the wicked, your shame will follow you. So a lot of people don't want to talk about this because it is a shameful topic. It's embarrassing. And, you know, imagine being on a date with someone and then you try to make out with her and then her hair, like her whole wig falls off on your bed like a dead rat. It's not sexy. It's not good. It's not beautiful. You know, men want to run their hair in their woman's hair, their hands in their hair, you know, beautiful. You want to pull on it a little bit. But, you know, when you pull on it, their hair is like the wig falls out. And then scabies and all kinds of scabs on their head, scalps bald. So this is the word of the Lord. So this is why, this is their shame that follows them, because that's why God said they can sit out there and post all these videos, say all these things in the church congregations, act all wickedly out there. But to those of us with eyes to see, the Lord says, you will know a man by his fruits. When you look at them, you'll see the shame. Follow them everywhere they go. No matter what they claim, no matter what they do, God's word is like heaping burning coals of fire on their heads, all right? So, therefore, the Lord will bring sores on the heads of the women of Zion. The Lord will make their scalps bald. There's no one more bald than the black women, you know, so y'all need to think about this and repent and wonder and ask yourself why, because you might, you know, I'm sure you do feel the most oppressed out of all mankind, because it's true, but you have...
Okay, y'all just saw those 2 videos. I had to stop with the second one. The second one, I paid 7 minutes out of 7 minutes and 21 seconds. I'll put the links down so you can go see that video. So the first one was Big Time Prime. I showed you the video of black women doing their hair first, and then I went into Big Time Prime's conspiracy theory on black women's hair. Basically, what he said was the same thing that Tila, we get into that girl. He said that it's like a sin. If you can't grow hair, it's a sin. And he also showed pictures of women who have a hair disease. That's not the same as somebody having short hair or like a short haircut. He showed women that had hair disease. Not only black women get that hair disease, but a lot of different races of women get that hair disease, because it was a woman who I took care of. I was a caregiver for. She knew people, and she was Puerto Rican. And if you guys don't know, Puerto Rican people, you know, women have long, beautiful hairs too. But she said there was women that she know in her culture too that have that hair disease. So if that's a hair disease, I'm gonna put the words here so you can see it. And you can type it up and go look it and read it, you know, Google it, and it'll tell you what's the definition of it. It's a hair disease. So, the funny thing about this is he said that, and he was saying that that's a sin. He was saying that the reason why, he was just showing all these pictures, these weird pictures that women who wear wigs, they're sinful. He also showed a woman who did a TikTok video where she brought something to the table was her butt. That this is very sinful. But you know how he also said that blonde, I think he said blonde hair was leprosy. So you're saying that white women who have blonde hair too, that's the leprosy as well? I was so confused by that. So he not only saying that black women who wear blonde hair is leprosy, or is it the blonde hair itself, is it leprosy? A conspiracy theory. Same thing with Tila. She said the same thing. If y'all don't know, the Asian woman that I showed in the second video, that was Tequila. For some reason, over the years, she became mentally ill. And I remember this video circulating over the internet, and I don't know why people were circulating it over and over and over, because she's mentally ill. Okay? Stay with me now. She's mentally ill. She was also in the process of fighting over her kids, to get custody of her kids, because her husband, I guess he realized she's crazy. She's crazy. And if you go to her channel is very disturbing. Her name is not Tila the Wind. It's like a Christian channel. But she really do believe that she is Jesus Christ's daughter. I mean, not daughter, but wife. She's going to marry Jesus Christ herself. That's how sick this woman is in the head. And she said the same thing that Big Time Prime said. And also, I forgot to mention this. Big Time Prime used to be a skit. He used to be a skit. He used to do skits on Instagram. And for some reason, he just stopped doing it. And he started doing all these conspiracy theories. And I noticed that a lot of people are getting sick after 2020. I noticed a lot of conspiracy theories are coming out after 2020. Conspiracy theories always been around, but they're getting 10 times worse now. Okay, so just stay with me. Now, I also noticed that they both said the same thing, and they're talking about women with hair problems, like that word. I'm gonna show the word again so you can look it up yourself because I don't want to mispronounce it. They're talking about women that can't grow hair or their hair is very thin, and I'm gonna give you a good example. There was a woman on, was it Little Women of LA? She had hair problems.
Yes. Are you Jasmine? Hi. Yes. Nice to meet you. I'm still not sold on the idea of wearing wigs, but I appreciate that Jasmine came all this way, so I'm willing to have an open mind.
Were you born with thin hair, or did this happen later on?
I was born with thin hair.
Okay.
On my dad's side, he has very thin hair, and his mother had very thin hair.
My hair is like a cotton ball, like super, super thin. And I would be teased because of my thin hair, and I would be called a midget. And I would cry every day about it. And I would just want that long, blonde, thick hair. And like for you even to come here and make that step and trying on wigs, like that's a huge step.
All right, well, no more sappy stuff.
Okay.
Let's on the road.
Gratitude.
Right.
And then there was a black woman that was on there too. But she didn't have the hair problem. Her hair grows very beautifully. She didn't have no issue. So that's a clear example right there that that's a hair condition. That's not a sin. They're saying that women who have very thin hair, and I've met these women from different races, they have very thin hair and they can't grow. It's a hair disease. And that's, to me, they really do need to go and do their research before they start talking about this. But that just go to show you the conspiracy theories and mentally ill people are talking about this. So beware of that. And I also noticed that Tila, who used to be a big famous person back in the early 2000s, she's sick now, Tequila, she mentioned something about a black woman said some of those words. And this brings us into the next part about our black people, where we too ourselves are talking down about ourselves as well. That's what I want to bring out. Now, listen to this next video that I'm going to bring out. And I believe there's some 3 black celebrity women, and then the other women are in the crowd. They're all talking about braids and wigs. Man, very interesting video. I'm going to play it for you.
Who in this audience has been judged by their hair? Let me hear from a few people.
Working in luxury retail, I've noticed like when I have my hair in long braids, they won't speak to me, or they shy away from me, or they assume that I'm a certain way before even speaking to me.
You're talking about white customers?
Correct, white customers.
Okay.
And they're shocked that I can hold an intelligent conversation with them because they assumed I would be the hood rat girl that happened to be working in luxury retail, or just the assistant there. And so I feel like with me, when it comes to my hair, I'm creative. I like to switch it up. But if my hair isn't done a certain way, or if it's not how I want it to be, I don't feel comfortable. I'm not confident.
How many of you feel like natural is the only way to go?
I don't like wigs. I think they look fake, and I don't think women know how to look good in them. And so I can't stand wigs, and I wish we as a people, I'm sorry.
Is this the part of the show where we start standing up?
If you know how to make your wig look good, then wear it. I'm talking about the wigs that aren't properly plugged.
You're saying you want them to be natural.
I want them to look nice. I want them to look good.
Well, they don't have good girlfriends helping them then, honey.
And let me tell you how I feel about weave. When I stop at a red light and I'm sitting there with my windows down and I look down and I see somebody's braid fell out and it's on the ground.
Where she live? I'm gonna hug her.
Weave is unkept, is not being taken care of. I do applaud people who take care of their hair, take care of their styles, take care of their wigs, take care of their weaves. That's awesome. But we have some really bad stuff out here.
We do.
And that's what I have a problem with.
I agree with her 100%. I am 64 years old. 3 weeks ago, I competed in a muscle building contest. I took 4th place. But I say this to say, everything has to be approved by the judges. The bikini that you wear has to be approved. I had a poser to show me how to pose and wanted to be like my wardrobe person, how I was gonna wear my makeup and how I was gonna wear my hair. And if you go and look at any of the competitions, I'm with her. They have the black women in these big old Martha and Vandella, Barbie doll looking weave and wigs and, you know, making us try to look like the white girls, you know? And I told them, I said, I'm gonna give you the bathing suit, but I'm gonna give you 1 or 2 things. I'm gonna give you braids and we're gonna break the mold, or I'm gonna give you a bun with my natural hair up in a bun. But I'm not gonna put on a weave, I'm not gonna put on a wig, and I still went out there and I placed 4th with my braids. I think that the weave thing is way too out of control. You know, we wanna say it's black girl magic, it's definitely magic if your hair down to here. We don't grow our hair like that.
Monica. All right, let me hear from you.
Now, see, okay, so what just happened was, we got put right back in the box we're trying to get out of. Because every one of my father's sisters' hair grows down here. These perceptions are exactly what we are pushing out. See, we can't ask other people to treat us in a way that we can't treat ourselves, number one. That's number one. We all got something different genetically because that is how it was intended. That is what makes us such a special race because there is no box to be put in. You can be this color, you can be that complexion, you can be so many different things. And I think what makes it hard is that, okay, granted, there are some bad weaves. Granted, I'm gonna give that. There's some bad wigs, I get it. When I get one, it's not because I want to look like Barbie. It's because I like this. This is what I want. I want a different look.
You want a different look.
And it may be a different feeling. If I'm going to the VMAs versus coming to support Miss Abrams, I might look a different way. So I get that there's a way that we should do certain things, but there should be no judgment when it's done.
If you want to see more videos like that, that was on Own Beauty. Are You Judged by Your Hair? Black Women Own the Conversation. That's the Oprah Winfrey Network. That's the Own on YouTube channel. You can see more of that. Okay, so yet again, this is a conversation that I have had with other Black women about hair. A lot of Black women out here who have, this is what I'm saying, there are Black women out here who have long, beautiful hair, and then they, you know, they don't want to wear wigs because, like the one lady, her hair was beautiful. I get it that she thinks, you know, I get it. I don't like when women just slap wigs on their head or slap weave in their hair and it just looks tacky, it just looks nasty. But you cannot tell someone not to wear that. You can't tell any woman how to do their hair. And it's like Monica said, it just puts us right back to where we started. You know, us Black people, we want respect. And I said this with the Black Lives Matter, you know, movement. I talked about this. We want the, you know, we want Black people to be recognized. We want to say that we matter, but we got to first see that with each other. We got to both look at each other and say, hey, you know, we matter to each other first before anybody else out there. I mean, we first got to stop tearing each other down in our community. who cares if that person wears a wig or not? You know, this is the conversation I had with my brother. He was like, oh, wear your natural hair. I get that. But do you guys know how long it takes to fix natural hair? It's me, and my hair only comes to my shoulder. Can you imagine my friends who have longer hair than me? It takes me a good 50 minutes just to detangle it. Because I'm very picky with my detangle. And then I gotta pick a hairstyle. That's gonna take another 20 or 30 minutes. I might be over exaggerating, but sometimes I want to make sure my hair is detangled. You know, it's the process. And also, Black women hair, natural hair, because my hair is natural. Black women hair, our products for our hair is so expensive. It's so expensive. So that's why a lot of us be like, hey, you know what? Braid my hair down, slap a wig on it. Make sure the wig looks beautiful and it looks good. You know, it looks natural. The ladies say it looks nice. No, it looks natural, not nice. Look natural is the key word. I just want to say other things, but I don't want to piss people off. I probably already did already. Sorry, this is not the channel for you. You got to go somewhere else. But I just wanted you guys to see that. Like, this is actually a real problem. That's why I couldn't do the black men hair. The black men hair, I apologize, because the black women, we got our own issues with our black hair. So it's a huge problem. I want to share another video with you. And this time it's from The Real. It just goes to show you that not only black people themselves and Asian people themselves have issues with our hair, but other different races of people are scared of our natural hair or don't like it. I mean, let's go into this Real. The Real is talking about it now on their show. So give me a minute and let me pull that video up for you.
Well, speaking of figuring out your look, if you're thinking of wearing your hair natural, you may want to listen to this. A new study reveals that women who decide to embrace their natural hair really can face bias. Yeah, the Perception Institute conducted a good hair study, which showed photos of black women with both natural and smooth hair. Now, the study found that a majority of people, regardless of race and gender, held some bias towards women of color based on their hair. The strongest bias of natural hair came from white women, who said that it was less sexy and less attractive. However, white women who were around naturalistas came off as less biased. Ladies, what do you think of this study? This is really interesting.
This is gross.
It is interesting. I mean, like, but are we really talking about this?
No, it's
your
true.
opinion on someone's hair, especially when it's what God put on your head?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it grows straight out of their scalp.
I know, but
I personally think that everyone should have at least 50 different wigs like myself. So this way, depending on what type of people you're going to be around, you know, oh, I'm going to be around my naturalistas, let me pull out my yaki straight. Oh, I'm going to be around the little people that's offended by my hair, let me go with that little
But
Dubai.
how nuts is that somebody would even be offended by your hair?
People are like that. People feel like, you know, oh my God, you know, he has dreadlocks. It must be something wrong about him. Oh my God, she has this afro thing going on. What's that thing about? But there's nothing you can do. This is the hair that God put to grow out of my head.
Right.
Who are you to tell me?
How do you feel?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well,
actually,
see, I personally am going through this, and I went through it.
What do you mean?
On Sister Sister, my sister and I started out with naturally curly hair for like the first 3 seasons, and I didn't realize anything was wrong with my hair until I got older.
Because there wasn't anything wrong with it,
right?
It was
right?
bomb.
I know.
Gorgeous.
But in the business, if I'm honest, after I passed a certain age, curly hair was just cute. It wasn't sexy. And then, see, there goes my curly-headed boy. But then, so when I would do photo shoots, movies, or commercials, you guys, literally, the hairstylists wouldn't know what to do with it. Some hairstylists were even afraid to put their fingers in my head.
What?
I know, and so you can imagine growing up as, you know, a young woman coming into her own, feeling that, and it somewhat gives you, you know, low self-esteem. So for a while, my sister and I wore our hair straight because we thought, it was
And how much
sexier.
damage did your hair
and that's
get?
the reason why, you guys,
Protective styling.
Yes, I'm not afraid to say it. I wear lots of wigs because I have learned that when you straighten it too much, your hair actually gets damaged. And the one thing that I love about having natural curly hair is that I can wear it straight, I can wear it curly. There's so many different styles, but when I wear it straight, it's because I want to wear it straight.
Right.
It's not because someone says, "Oh,
That
you
looks
look
better."
You look
Yeah, it's
sexier
just
that
that
way."
you choose to try various different styles, but it's not because somebody said it doesn't look good.
Well, when I worked in corporate America, when I first started, I used to wear my hair natural. I would just, I wasn't into wigs and weaves and stuff like that. And you're right, Tamara. White women around me would want to put their fingers in my hair because my hair, I got hair like God up under here. It's that strong hair.
She was saying they didn't want to because they were afraid of
they were
styling it.
afraid.
You're saying
There
they
are
wanted
people,
to.
they were interested.
Yeah, and it was like, it's like invading your personal space.
Yeah.
So that made me go, am I different? And they would treat me a little different because you have to realize I had to study up on my hair. And what I realized is that back in the 70s, when you wore an afro, that looked like it was power, and like you were rebellious. And so some of that kind of teetered off into that type of thinking when I was working in corporate America. But once people got to know me, this study is very, very interesting because once the women really got to know me, they didn't look at my hair. That's just Lonnie and her hair.
I'm not my hair.
I am not my hair. But
I love that. I am not.
It's interesting today because now it's like we wear this as protective because we're under these lights so much. And we travel, we have stresses, all kind of stuff. You got heat. I want to keep my hair.
Me
so like on
too.
the weekends, I take this off and I'm like, hey, I'm natural, Lonnie. And it feels really good and free and nothing is wrong with it. We just got to get over hair with black women. Leave us alone.
I have such a hard time though. Like I feel some type of way. I'm not going to lie.
About what?
About the idea that someone would come up to you and be like, oh, can I go in your hair? That's so interesting.
Because they don't have it.
How come you never do that to them? You don't have their hair?
Because it's different with blacks.
Do you understand?
We not like that.
Right.
We've never been. We've been more sensitive. We've been sensitive since we've been slaves, okay?
But do you
That's
understand what I'm
just
saying?
the way we are.
Would you?
There was actually a girl who used to sit behind me
I've never done
in
that.
junior high, and she literally would touch my curls and go boing, boing, boing. And I would turn around like, why are you doing that? And she would say, it's just so interesting. I've never seen anything like that. And I can remember, you guys, it was only maybe about 6-7 years ago. It's sad that it still goes on today. I went on an audition. I killed it. And I asked my manager, how come I didn't even get a call back? And the casting director said, well, she did a great job, but we couldn't get past her hair. It was such a distraction. So you can imagine me going, what the hell? You're talking about who I am as a real person. Wait a minute. This is me. So you're saying me being me is a distraction? That's the reason why I really love these awesome curly bloggers. Instagrams. Because they're actually, celebrating and helping society learn to embrace what God gave us.
But one more thing, Tam, when I have headshots. I need to bring those headshots.
Yeah.
We'll do a throwback. And when in my hair, it was little, I call it the little esterol afro. I could not get anything. I could not get booked. I would not get booked at all. And I was going in killing the auditions, but they would not book me. The minute I put some straight hair on, I got booked my first commercial. I got booked. So it's like sometimes you have to assimilate if you want to work.
That's
do
I
I not work or do I not eat? How many sisters out there, I see you with your natural hair, have been judged? Round of applause.
I just think that's so crazy. In this study, they specifically said this one quote, which was that the white women felt that the hair was not
sexy,
and not attractive, right? And they're okay with saying that. You know how crazy I would look sitting up here saying, well, I don't find stereotypically what white, stringy, straight, greasy hair looks like. Could you imagine, how nuts that would sound to actually say, well, white hair is whack to me. They got like 3 strands of hair. Like, what? Like,
But that
that
sound like their
stringy,
hair's
greasy
dirty.
hair. This is why, though, you know they got to wash their hair. A lot of my white girlfriends have to wash
I only wash my hair
their hair every day because it gets greasy. And if they don't, by the end of the week, it gets stringy and greasy. How rude would I sound saying that?
Sarah and Ellis, they have the good curly hair.
No.
They don't got the me and Lonnie curly hair that we're talking about.
But
They
if
got
they
the one that's a
rocked it-
little least offensive. Like when you get into like, my husband, he tells me all the time that he loves, like when I have my natural, he's like, babe, I love your hair. Why don't you wear it like that? But it's hard to maintain natural hair. The products are super
really is.
expensive. More than any other hair products out there, and you have to do so much. If I wash my hair every day, I would never get anywhere. It literally takes hours to wash my. I have to part it in sections, brush it, hold that part, and team that part for a little while.
Put that pomade on it.
It's crazy. So
No, but
there's different textures of curly hair.
So
and
how do we normalize?
Some of them are more offensive than others.
I hope you didn't hear me in the background. I forgot to turn my mic off. But yeah, that was a whole lot to take in. You heard about what Tamara had said about how she was growing up with her hair and nobody wanted to touch it. And I remember that season where her and her sister both, they straightened their hair. So I knew that was the reason why. And I really did have like the curly hair. But, when they went to straighten, I was like, oh, they look a whole lot better. And I remember that when I was young, looking at sister. And also, but I also noticed something too with Remy Ma has said. There is a difference with, Tia and Tamara hair versus their hair. My hair is more of like Lonnie and more like Remy Ma. It's more 4C type. There's different types of texture of curly hair. And my hair is more kinky. And like I stated earlier, the products are more expensive for my hair. Not only that, it takes longer to fix my hair. So yeah, it's just not easy to fix natural hair. So sometimes you're like, you know what? I don't want to have compotone on my hand. I'm gonna slap a wig on. Or sometimes I might put a beautiful hair cloth. I do notice that there are very beautiful hair cloths, and I see a lot of Black women are embracing that. That is a part of our culture to wear hair cloth. Hair cloth is, that comes straight out from Africa. I love wearing different hair cloth, and I love how you can roll them up and make them in beautiful designs. That's another thing too. So it's a whole lot to take in. But I wanted to go a little bit further.
From fairy tales to advertisements, movies, and music videos, our icons are typically lusciously locked. Long, flowing hair has been a powerful marker of being a woman. But that's not how Afro-textured hair grows. Our hair generally grows upward and is tightly coiled, like this and like this. So what does our world tell us about Afro hair?
Black students at the prestigious Pretoria High School for Girls protested a clause that banned wide cornrows, braids, and dreadlocks.
There's an online petition demanding that Beyonce and Jay-Z do something about their daughter Blue Ivy's hair. One commentator said, quote, no child whose mom spends thousands on her hair monthly should live life looking like a sheep.
Right now, school administrators say the girl's hair is a problem and it needs to be straightened or she'll get kicked out. But her mom doesn't understand how her hair looking like this is wrong.
Mystic Valley Regional Charter School says the 2 sophomore students' hair extensions violates its dress code. So they're being disciplined with detention and are prohibited from taking part in extracurricular activities.
Mainstream beauty doesn't have Black women in mind. Instead, Black women with Afro hair are expected to conform to an aesthetic that values straight hair. That desire for straight hair is a construct that started during colonization. Any places is stigmatized to the point of taboo, but it wasn't always this way. In the mid-1400s, Alvise Cadamosto made 2 trips to Africa. In his journal, he wrote this about the people in West Africa. Both sexes go barefooted and have no coverings to their heads, and weave and tie their hair, though short, into neat tresses. neat tresses. Cadamosto's accounts were positive, partially because transatlantic enslavement didn't exist yet. There was no imperative to dehumanize Africans. To European observers, there is no sense of African hair being ugly or inferior. We see a similar sentiment in Yoruba proverbs and the Mende described beautiful hair with the word potongo, which means it is much, abundant, plentiful. In reference to hair, the root word poto means long and thick. What contributed to the major shift in black hair? Slavery. During slavery, the hair of black people was compared to animals. It was claimed that the tightly coiled African hair was similar to the wool of an animal. That was a way to justify the inhumane exploitation of people. During slavery, a hierarchy emerged where there was a status attached to having more European features. Those with these features, including looser textured hair, while still denied access to basic human rights, sometimes had more opportunity. This is a pattern that was apparent from the context of slavery through emancipation and even up until the present day. Slavery was abolished in 1865, but the stigma around black hair was not. After slavery, chemical hair straightening products for black people gained popularity. It was seen as one of the few avenues that could provide financial empowerment to black women at a time when those opportunities were practically non-existent. It was seen as a way to elevate their status, so they were marketed with an emphasis on beauty, personal success, and the uplift of the entire race. It led people to believe that their black hair wasn't beautiful the way it was. But a century after the abolition of slavery, black hair and the afro reigned supreme again. The civil rights movement and the Black Power movement became a motivating force that disrupted European beauty standards. Some black American men and women began to move away from the relaxers and embrace the natural coils and curls that grew from their heads.
Don't be ashamed of your heritage. Don't be ashamed of your color. Don't be ashamed of your hair. I am black and beautiful and not ashamed to say it.
This era of empowerment was glorified everywhere, from local streets to TV shows such as The Jeffersons and on iconic figures such as Michael Jackson. Fast forward to today, and while black hair is still not widely accepted, it is being celebrated at events like Curlfest, in TV commercials, and it's even emerging on red carpets and runways. And then, in 2018, Black Panther was released. The release of the movie was monumental for many reasons. It was the first time a Hollywood production created an on-screen world populated almost entirely by women with type 4 hair. I embraced my natural hair as well. When I was pregnant with my first baby, I decided to shave my hair and go natural. I knew that if I had a daughter, it was crucial she did not grow up with the same warped concept of beauty that I did. So I'll leave with this. We need to reimagine the way we think about progress, about modernity, about success, about development, and about civilization. We need to think about the way we frame demands for inclusion and representation, and seriously rethink the way we attribute, or more often do not attribute, value to Indigenous knowledge systems. And yes, we need to reject many of the beauty standards we subscribe to, those that privilege lighter skin, thinner noses, or good hair. One of the easiest ways to demonstrate our nascent freedom? Wear our natural hair.
So California is officially the first state to ban racial discrimination based on natural hairstyle.
California became the first state to pass the Crown Act in 2019, aiming to ban race-based hair discrimination, and 6 other states followed suit.
The natural hair movement is more than hair. It is a lifestyle. It is learning to be comfortable in the skin that you're in.
All right, so you saw that. Beautiful, beautiful, big, shout out to the black women out here that is wearing their hair. Even when I'm streaming on Twitch, I even every now and then I'm out wearing the wig. I still wear my wig, but I like my braids and I like my natural hair. I really do love my natural hair. I really do like wearing it. So shout out to all the black women who are, really holding it down and wearing their natural hair. She said it all in a nutshell. This, stereotype, prejudice against our hair, it goes all the way back to, back to slavery. You have to relax your hair. You got to straighten it. It got to be straight. It got to be, no, I'll straighten it because I want to, but I'm going to wear my hair out the way how I want it. By the end of the day, I'm going to wear my hair out by the day I want it. And I also noticed, going back to the straightening, I saw that in one of the part where they highlighted easy to comb or something like that. And I'm like, no, my hair ain't easy to comb. That's why I spray some water, some oil, some aloe vera, I don't know how to pronounce it, on my hair so I can brush my hair out. No, it's not easy to comb. But when it shower, my hairstylist fits my hair, they be like, oh my God, your hair looks beautiful. Yes, I wanted to really talk more about, I can talk about this, I don't know, all day. Like all day. And also shout out to the black men that are really, that is really supportive of our hair. Despite big time crime that I showed earlier. Shout out to the black men that's really, really supportive of our hair.
And here's the thing. I'm going to preface this by saying, no, you don't have to be black to proficiently work on black clients when it comes to hair and makeup. No. But there is a consideration that is not given to black men and women when it comes to the hair and makeup trailer, when it comes to the inception of having, black cast members come on and giving them the environment to win, to thrive. So when you go into the hair and makeup trailer with somebody who has never done or touched a black hair before, and they don't know how to handle your hair because it is a different texture, different gray, and then you got to sit there for hours, somebody playing in your hair and making you look all the way jacked up, and then you got to go on set, worry about how you looking. Or a makeup artist does your makeup, your face is different than your rest of your body. Mentally, what does that do to somebody who's trying to do their job? For us, these are our essential workers. My barber, Art Williams, is essential. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for real.
So there you go, right there, variety. I had to pay for the barber. Actors say Hollywood's neglect of black men's hair must change. So, like I say, I need my brothers to come out and talk about this more, because it opened up my eyes that this is a black people here is a huge problem. Sorry if you hear things in the background. It is a huge problem. So I don't know if I played a song earlier, or I can't play, but it was a song about black women's hair. And it was by a black man. That's why I said shout out to the black men. And it was, I'm gonna see if I can find it, but I don't know if I can. I can't play, the lyrics, but he's like saying, let's talk about black hair. But unfortunately, I cannot play the song for you guys. But it's by Piff Marty and Candice Major. And it's a song about black hair. I thought it was very beautiful. Please go check them out on their YouTube. Check out the song, listen to the lyrics, get the understanding of it. Let black women wear the hair they want. Anybody out here, wear the hair how you want it. Don't let anybody judge you by your hair. Be comfortable by it. And this song really, it was needed, and I'm surprised that it didn't blow up like how it needs to. But this is a beautiful song, and embrace it, everybody. Braid your hair, put a wig on, straighten your hair if you want to. You have it kinky, have it afro, do it however you want. By the end of the day, this is your hair. You wear it however you want. But yes, let me know what you think of this video. This video was long and overdue. It was long and overdue. Let me know what you think of this video down below. Please be very respectful. If not, possibly can get banned or deleted. But as for now, I shall see y'all later. Peace.